In chapter 19, Elf Tales, it's Ron is in the infirmary room, and Harry, Fred, and George, Hermione, and Ginny are all sitting around him discussing why someone would want to poison Ron, or more incidentally, why someone would want to poison Slughorn. And they were talking back and forth, maybe about people that might want to poison him. And then they came up with like maybe it was meant for Dumbledore, and Slughorn said he was going to give it to Dumbledore. And then they were like, if this person gave it to Slughorn, they don't really know Slughorn too well because Slughorn would probably keep it for himself rather than give it to Dumbledore. So they're trying to figure out who or what um, poisoned. And then they were all fortunate that Harry was there because if Harry was not, Ron would probably be dead. And they connected this to the necklace. Well, Hermione did. Connected this to the necklace. And be like, maybe it's two incidents that are related. And Mr. and Mrs. Weasley were also there. They came down later to thank Harry because now he has saved three Weasleys from death. And they're like, if you weren't there at all at the beginning, they're just fortunate that Harry and Ron are friends because he saved them countless times. And then as they leave the infirmary, because it's getting full, so Hagrid also came in to visit. So they left with Hagrid, Harry, and Hermione left with Hagrid, and they just start talking about maybe um, other possibilities. And then Hagrid slipped out that Dumbledore was angry with Snape, and this made Harry do a double take. He's like, "Wait, he's angry with Snape?" And then Hagrid was like trying to play it off like he didn't say it, and then Hagrid mentions, "Yeah, he's angry with Snape," and then Harry, being Harry, goes into maybe because he said he overheard Snape say, or had Dumbledore say, that is because Snape didn't do his part too well or something like that. And then it's kind of made Harry lament and keep thinking as he was spiraling. But then he was trying to think about that and Malfoy, obviously because he's been suspicious of Malfoy pretty much his whole book. And then Ron's girlfriend, Lavender, kept bothering Harry a lot more than usual because Ron was still in the medical room, and she kept saying every time she went up there, he would be asleep. And Harry knows Ron's faking, so Harry's like, "Bro, stop faking sleep because she's bothering me, and just tell her you don't want to be with her anymore." Ron's like, "It's not that easy." And then also on the side, Cormac McLagan, the guy who did not make the Quidditch team and got beat by Ron, um, came immediately to Harry and was like, "Hey, so Ron's out. I got second, so let me take his place." Harry didn't question it. He said, "Okay," but then he kind of regretted that because Cormac kept coming with, suggestions and things like that, and Harry had to remind him, I'm the captain. I'm the captain. Let me handle it." And as it went through, the time for the game came around. Ron still wasn't allowed to play, so and they were playing Hufflepuff. And this is my big game for the season. As they went out there, Harry went to go see Ron beforehand. Ron gave him good luck, and which is he was out there, and Harry did too. Um, the match did not go great at all. So they did not start off too well. There was a lot of miscommunication, even though they had a couple practices in. A lot of miscommunication going on. Cormac was trying to lead, even though he was just the goalkeeper, and he just needed to stay in his posts. Um, he ended up taking one of the beater sticks from another teammate and ended up knocking Harry out. Like Harry got too close and he just swung and knocked him out. And Harry woke up in the infirmary next to Ron. And he got his skull cracked, like literally. So he was in the infirmary, and they were discussing, Malfoy, because Harry really almost thought about skipping the match to follow Malfoy because he had been looking at him on the Marauders map and he noticed that Malfoy was disappearing at certain times. And he's like, "There's not really many reasons why you can disappear from the map, unless you're leaving Hogwarts grounds or doing something else." So he almost skipped the match just to follow Malfoy, because as he was going into the match, Malfoy was leaving with two girls who did not look like they wanted to be around him. They looked uncomfortable. So Harry was almost thinking about leaving, but then he was trying to think of ways, he remembered that Rufus has an ability to tail people, and he was thinking of ways to tail people, and then it came to him, and he called Kreacher and Dobby, and they came immediately. Um, Dobby was kind of wrestling. They were kind of wrestling each other because Kreacher did not want to come. And he doesn't like Harry, but he has to serve Harry. And Dobby's like, I'll keep him in check. I'll keep him in check. And then Peeves the Ghost was watching this wrestling match, and he's like, shoot, Peeves, shoot. Um, then he told Dobby and Kreacher to tail Malfoy, and made a lot of exceptional rules for Kreacher, because Kreacher would probably tell Malfoy or try to let him know what's going on. And he just said, tail Malfoy, let me know if he's doing anything weird. And that was his way. He's gonna have a tail on Malfoy of elves. He said, don't get seen. Just let me know what he's doing while I'm in the infirmary. And that's that. Harry has finally found his way where he can follow Malfoy without being suspicious, and he's been very, very suspicious of Malfoy this whole book, waiting for something to give him the inclination that Malfoy is a Death Eater or something. And even Ron told him, like, you're being obsessive, bro. Um, which he kind of is. He kind of is. I agree with Ron. He's kind of being obsessive. But it's Malfoy. And, his dad was Death Eater. His mom is Death Eater. So it's not too crazy to think Malfoy's up to something.